Okay, let's go into our sneaky. Let me play this for you.
What a sleeper.
So we got our sleepers for week 7. We're going to start off with the running back position. We got Devonta Freeman, the Baltimore Ravens running back. Light it up. Le'Veon Bell actually had more snaps than Devonta Freeman last week. So why are you a big Devonta Freeman fan? Man, he's been everywhere, huh? He's got a Giants logo, he's got a Giants jersey on in this picture, the Ravens background, and then I'm playing Falcons highlights. Very good.
I mean, yeah, because it's been a while since he's been fantasy relevant. I
Yeah.
mean, just think about this though, like, and how it's just crazy how, at least for the running back position, how quick it is to fall from grace. I mean, a couple years ago, David Johnson was the number 1 overall pick, and now he's on the waiver wire in 80% of leagues. I feel like, you got Todd Gurley, who's
Not
dominant for 2 years or whatever, 3 years, not even on an NFL roster right now. A couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, Devonta Freeman was the highest paid running back in the NFL. And now he's just kind of, like you said, jumping
Le'Veon Bell
from team to team. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell. I think Le'Veon Bell's like one of those guys that he just didn't care. He just wanted to get paid. And once he secured the bag of whatever, $30 million, he was just kind of like, whatever, like, I got paid.
The funny part is he lost money, but whatever.
Yeah. That's what greed. Like I said, greed is one of these sins or whatever.
Seven deadly sins.
7 distance, yeah. But yeah, I like Devonta Freeman right here. Go pick him up. He should be available on a good chunk of waiver wires. I picked him up in a couple leagues. Once the news broke that Latavius Murray will be out with an ankle injury, and they said that Devonta Freeman will be getting the start for the Baltimore Ravens in this game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, Le'Veon Bell will probably get some run. Tyson Williams will probably get some run. You still have the threat of Lamar Jackson getting some rushes as well. But I do like Devonta Freeman. I feel like they're confident in him to be the guy there, or at least for this week going forward. The last 2 weeks, for what it's worth, 11 targets between him and Latavius Murray. Like I said, Latavius Murray out. Le'Veon Bell, 0 targets during that 2-game span. So not getting any targets, Le'Veon Bell. I'm thinking Le'Veon Bell gets a little more incorporated. Maybe Tyson Williams does as well. But they obviously feel comfortable throwing the ball to Devonta Freeman. And for what it's worth, the Bengals have allowed the most targets and the most receptions to running backs, and they've allowed the 7th most receiving yards to running backs. So if Devonta Freeman is going to be the guy, he's already getting targets. He's obviously a savvy veteran. They trust him in pass protection, which is one thing they don't trust Tyson Williams with. Yeah, I'll take a shot on Devonta Freeman. You could do worse. You could, I don't know. We didn't have a lot of sits in this one, or we didn't have any sits actually for the running backs because it's just tough. But Devonta Freeman or Gaskin at this point, like, dude,
Give me Freeman,
and that sucks as a Dolphins fan because I just don't know what Flores and the Miami Dolphins are doing down there in terms of not utilizing Gaskin in his pass catching ability. So yeah, I do like Freeman. I think he's a sneaky start. If you're just looking for a guy, hey, I just need a running back. I need a flex option because there's so many buys. I love Devonta Freeman this week. I'll take a gamble on it.
Yeah, and this week you need something like that. Yeah, I'm with it 100%.
Sup, Kane? Here's the thing. If you download the Underdog Fantasy app right now and use promo code AVG, you get a free $10 added onto your deposit right now. Use promo code AVG. Links down below. Now back to your video.
Let's go on to the wide receiver sleeper we got here. We have our boy Robby Anderson. This is interesting because you're over here saying don't start Sam Darnold, but you're saying to sleeper start Robby Anderson.
Yeah, I was saying don't start Sam Darnold because he's trending in the wrong direction. Like, I need to see a bounce back game from Sam Darnold before I feel comfortable throwing him into my lineup. And maybe he does this week. Like I said, the Giants give up a 74% completion percentage. It's just that Sam Darnold has been highly inaccurate. 45% of Robby Anderson's targets have been uncatchable. So, I mean, that's, obviously they like Robby Anderson. He played for Matt Rule back in Temple. played with Sam Darnold for the Jets. So the stars and the planets are aligning for him to be successful. Former college coach, former quarterback from the Jets for several years together. So they have the rapport. He knows the offense. They paid him a contract extension in the offseason, so that they obviously want to utilize him, and they like what they see out of Robby Anderson. It just hasn't been translating onto the field. I mean, he's had 29 targets in the last 3 weeks, 11, 7, and 11.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot of targets. That's tied 8th most in the NFL. I think he had some crazy thing where he had as many receiving yards as he did targets.
Yeah, that's 11. No, it is. He had 11. He had 3 receptions for 11 yards on 11 targets last week against Minnesota.
So that's just insane to think, hey, this guy got 11 targets and he got 11. He averaged 1 yard per target. That is just insane. not that's just ridiculous when you get to that type of thing.
Yeah.
But Robby Anderson, one of those guys. Club. Yeah. One of those guys where all it takes is one big play and he can make the day for you. The Giants' pass defense not very good. They're actually the 29th ranked pass defense per Pro Football Focus. You have the rookie Terrace Marshall out with a concussion. CMC's out as well. So in terms of like passing the football, yeah, dude, it's DJ Moore and it's Robby Anderson. And I'm not worried about Ian Thomas. I'm not worried about Chuba Hubbard stealing a ton of passes. I'm not worried about – I don't even know who the 3rd, 4th receiver is for the Panthers. So, I mean, if Sam Darnold throws the ball 30 times, does Robby Anderson see 10 targets? I think so because, it's probably 10 targets for Robby Anderson, 10 targets for DJ Moore.
Yeah.
So, I'll take a gamble on the – maybe he gets it together. Maybe Sam Darnold finally gets to get together on this game and he throws some catchable passes, actually, to Robby Anderson. And if I can get 7 to 8 out of the 10 targets, actual catchable passes, I think Robby Anderson is a talented enough wide receiver. They paid him enough, at least, to be this guy who's coming down with these catches. So, yeah, I like him as a sleeper this week with all the buys. You got a lot of players on buy. You got Jefferson, Thielen, Diggs, Manny Sanders, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Those are just some names off the top of my head. Those guys are all on buy, and it's just, yeah, if you need somebody, go get them.
Definitely. Okay, well, let's move on to our next sleeper. This, we talked a little bit of Sterling Shepard, but we got Darius Slayton for the New York Giants. If Sterling Shepard does not play, it's a game-time decision. You could go swoop up Darius Slayton for nothing, and you could throw him in there, and there's no Tony if there's no Shepard. What do you got left? Evan Ingram, Darius Slayton, Devonta Freeman. No, not Devonta Freeman. Jesus Christ. Devontae Booker.
Yeah.
Sorry, last year. But yeah, Darius Slayton. I think this is a sneaky start. I think Daniel Jones has been better. Not so much the past couple weeks, but before that, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, like I said, Tony's out, Galladay's out, Evan Ingram's banged up. Even when he's healthy, he's been non-existent. And then Sterling Shepard, we like him if he plays. But the reports I saw today were that he, in practice, re-aggravated the hamstring injury. And
the Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard, yeah. Did I say Sterling?
No, you didn't say anybody. I was just, yeah.
So, yeah, Shepard re-aggravated the hamstring injury. And the report I read was that it was, serious. And, he has a good chance of missing the game. So, if he does miss the game, I'm 1,000% throwing Darius Slayton into my lineup because it's kind of like de facto who's left.
De facto numero uno.
Yeah, who's left to throw the ball to, my guy?
Hey, who the fuck you going to throw it to?
We even had Dante Pettis get resurrected and get 11 targets last week just because that's how bad the New York Giants are hurting for pass catchers. And,
someone wake up Michael Crabtree.
Yeah. I like Crabtree. Good throw guy.
Me too.
But, for what it's worth, this is Danny Dimes' boy, I feel like. The first couple years when they were in the league together, they came in the same year, I believe, and, 7 targets and 6 targets through the first 2 games. In PPR, he gave you 9.5 and 14.4 PPR points the first 2 weeks. Those are some safe floors right there. And if he's the last guy standing, then yeah, give me all
sign
the
me up.
Darius Slayton. I've picked him up in 3 leagues because I am, like I said, there's so many buys, and I feel like I had CeeDee Lamb in basically every single league, and I have, Diggs in a ton of leagues, Manny Sanders in a ton of leagues. So I'm like out 2 receivers in a bunch of leagues right now. So yeah, I've been grabbing Slayton and throwing him in. Even if Shepard plays, he's obviously not 100%. And does Sterling Shepard start the game, and maybe he leaves in the first quarter, maybe he leaves at halftime because he re-aggravates it, or So I think they do lean on Darius Slayton, and I'm gonna bank on that. He's the main focal point in this passing attack this week. That's kind of my thought process through this.
Yeah, I'm with it on Darius Slayton this week if he's out. If 89's not there and all that's left is 86, fucking send it in, baby.
Fucking send it in.
89 is Kadarius Toney, for those who don't know. But okay, let's move on to the last one. Of course,
dude, I think I throw DeVante Parker in here in every episode.
You love DeVante Parker.
I do love DeVante.
I do love DeVante Parker. Miami Dolphins, DeVante Parker, sleeper start for Week 7 up against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not mad at it. What's the status? What's going on here? Why are you excited about? What's going on? Tell me. Elaborate.
Yeah, I do love DeVante Parker, and I think maybe I'm just because I'm a Dolphins fan and I've seen what this guy's capable of. We saw that crazy year he had with Fitzmagic a couple years ago where he was just getting hyper targeted, and he finished as a top 10 wide receiver on the season, and it's just like that's what he's capable of if he gets the targets. It's just the knack or the knock, I guess you could say, with DeVante Parker's always been the lack of targets and his ability to stay healthy and stay on the field. And right now it's his ability to stay on the field. The last couple games, hamstring injury, he's been sitting out. He's practiced this week, so it looks like he's trending in the right direction to play. But he's averaged 8 targets through the first 4 games that he's played, so that's a nice, safe floor right there. In terms of PPR points that he's gotten you 12, 9, 8, and 17. The 17, he got you a touchdown. The 12, 9, and 8 in PPR, at least, he didn't get you a touchdown. But if he does, that's 18, 15, and 14. Those are all solid games right there in terms of PPR points-wise. If he's scoring some touchdowns. Obviously Waddle has had the big game, but like I said, there was no Fuller. There's no DeVante Parker. You got Gesicki there, too. But DeVante Parker is one of those guys where not the best separator, not the best route runner, but what he does is you just throw him the ball, and I think I've said it before in the past, I don't want to compare him to Megatron because he's not in the same league as Megatron. Megatron, Hall of Famer, one of the best receivers ever to do it. But that style, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, of where you just throw DeVante Parker the football, and he just out jumps, out muscles, out finesses, whatever you want to call it, and he comes down with the football. That year that Stephon Gilmore won Defensive Player of the Year, I don't want to say the R word because we got a little haze for that, but he dominated, I guess you could say. He dominated the Defensive Player of the Year.
Some would say that he dominated his genitals.
Yeah, and in a must-win game for the Patriots when Stephon Gilmore won Defensive Player. So the guy is a super talented wide receiver, and I know I'm rambling on about DeVante Parker here, but yeah, I like him in this matchup. The Dolphins need him if they're going to win this game, and they would be smart to utilize him, but who knows? The Dolphins aren't being very smart at all. They don't utilize Gaskin at all.
DeVante Parker, check it out. 7 targets, 9 targets, 7 targets, 9 targets. And then, so is he going to get 7 targets? Because last time he got 7 targets, he got 81 yards on that 7 targets.
I think he gets 8 targets.
8?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the pattern here.
So
then it was
the
4 receptions.
Yeah.
When you look at the numbers, sometimes you see
and a lot of those
so weird.
Like I said,
go look at this.
Couple of those
so
games
weird.
with Brissett, who's not very accurate, and I know there's all these. We'll just touch on this for a second since we're talking about the Dolphins and DeVante Parker, but there's all these rumors of Deshaun Watson going to Miami, and as exciting as that would sound,
I would like Deshaun Watson.
I don't think that's going to solve the Dolphins' problems. Like, our quarterback is not our biggest issue right now. We need an offensive line. We need a fucking running back. I don't know why we didn't. There's been 10 solid running backs, at least, that have been drafted in the last 2 years. And we've had a fuck ton of draft picks, and we haven't drafted any running backs out of them because we think Gaskin and Malcolm Brown are the guys. We don't even utilize Malcolm Brown. I digress.
Miles Gaskin.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Miles Gaskin and Malcolm Brown.
You don't utilize Miles Gaskin.
Yeah, we don't utilize Miles Gaskin.
You said Malcolm Brown.
My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that Tua is the problem here. You know, Tua still hasn't played a full 16-game season. He hasn't had a full arsenal of weapons. I mean, Miami's
I think the thing is
pass catchers are not very. When Parker's not there, Fuller's not there, Preston Williams isn't there, who's not even that good. Bro, it's like, dude, we're playing with our 4th, 5th, 6th string wide receivers, practice squad wide receivers. Like, it's just not very good. So I just want to see what Tua can do with Waddle, Fuller, Gesicki, DeVante Parker, and if they utilize Gaskin out of the backfield like they should, what Tua could do. So yeah, it's just very frustrating to see what's going on here with the Dolphins offense.
Yeah, I will say this about Deshaun Watson. It's like, okay, the problem might not be Tua, but the solution I don't think is Tua. Like, I don't think Tua is the quarterback that's just going to, like, go nuts and win games for you. Yeah. But I feel like Deshaun Watson can do that. Do you know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
That's like Deshaun Watson can, like, carry a team. Like, I mean, he carried the Texans. I don't know how. Like, the Texans made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, with Deshaun Watson. So I don't know.
Dolphinitely.
Throw him on. I think it would be cool. Like, you know, I'm not a Dolphins fan, but, you know, I watch a lot of them with you guys and a lot of Dolphins games. And, yeah, I would. I mean, I think it would be cool if you guys got Deshaun Watson, but
yeah,
that's just me. But who knows when he would even be able to play. Hey, did you like that video? No, not the one of Big Ben completely eating shit when nobody even touched him. I'm talking about our fantasy football video we just did. You just watched. Well, guess what? That was just a clip from the full audio podcast. So if you want to check out the whole thing, links down below. AVG Fantasy Football, Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, all of them. Anywhere you can get audio podcasts, we're there. Go ahead and check it out. And if you don't want to look at your fantasy team to look the way Big Ben does right here, wait for it. Come on, replay. This is your fantasy team. But that won't be your fantasy team if you subscribe to AVG Fantasy Football. So go ahead, subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to the channel and like.